Aid for Ndagawa Project. Speech category. Michael Russo. Mr. Honeyman. Language Arts, 8th hour. June 1st, 2012. In a small village in rural Tanzania, a 10-year-old boy named Razaki runs barefoot through his village. It's not his choice to run barefoot. Razaki has no shoes, like many of the children in his village. The children in his village, as well as the adults, are as close to destitution as they can get. This is the situation for many people in Tanzania. According to Lauren Fink, a Peace Corps minister in the village, a scream is your 911 call. An ambulance is anything with wheels, and your paramedics are your neighbors. In order for us to fully understand the problems going on in Tanzania, we will first examine the cause of the problems. Next, explain the ramifications, before looking at some solutions so we can help the people who have so little. According to the CIA World Factbook, the United Republic of Tanzania was established in 1964 after defeating the British rule. It's situated on the Indian Ocean in East Africa, between Mozambique and Kenya. So, you may be asking yourself, how does this affect me? Why should I be concerned? Why are there even problems going on in Tanzania, and what even are they? Well, there are many problems in Tanzania to answer your third question. Many of them include the lack of medical care, lack of education, lack of sufficient food, lack of clean water, and lack of necessary clothing. But let's first take a look at the first problem, the lack of medical care. According to the East Africa Foundation, many hospitals in Tanzania are operated by churches, so the people who are caring for the sick are often uneducated. They could be mothers, housewives, priests, random people from the village, and oftentimes the churches don't have the sufficient supplies to call themselves a medical facility. Even more, the citizens in Tanzania are forced to pay their own medical bills all on themselves, as the medical health care in Tanzania provides 65 cents per person per year. Now, let's take a look at the education deficit. I'll be frank, schools are scarce. When there is a school, it's often dilapidated and not fit to be a haven of knowledge for our young people. According to The Guardian, March 9, 2009, a class can have up to 70 students in one room. In my elementary school at Penn Lake, the maximum number of students we ever had was 19. The Guardian goes on to say that many of the children in the schools, when there is one, they're hungry. According in an interview with Zainab from that article, she says it's hard to concentrate when you're hungry. Obviously, we can say this affects people in Tanzania, but how does this affect us? We're on the other side of the world. We have what we need, so why should we care? Well, we know what's going on, and we're able to help, so we should. So, let's take a look at the effects. So, why should we care? Well, we don't have to, but we should. There are people who need help, we're able to help them, so it's human nature that we should help them. While we, in America, cruise to a fancy dinner in our Mercedes-Benz, someone in Tanzania is being rushed to the hospital 6 hours away on an ox cart because they're malnourished. When we go to Plum Market and have to make the grueling decision whether we want our California rolls with rice paper or without, someone in Tanzania has to tell his or her family that they won't be eating dinner tonight. Again, this is what it's like in Tanzania. So, now that we've explored the problem and effects of the events going on in Tanzania, let's explore some solutions. Well, you are at our Aid for Ndagawa benefit. Obviously, monetary donations would be very helpful and would be put to very effective use. Additionally, donations could be used to educate teachers as well as doctors, but furthermore, business people, politicians, and civil servants. However, if you are feeling particularly adventurous, I suggest you volunteer as a Peace Corps minister like Lauren Fink, a WHMS alum and Honeyman student. She's doing that right now in Tanzania and has been doing so for the last year. You can read about it on her blog, Habari za Safari, as well as listening to a day-to-day summary of a life in a small Tanzanian village. And if you forgot your checkbook on your counter, or your wallet for that matter, but would still like to contribute, Help International is kind of like the Peace Corps, except they accept donations, so they can fund trips to help people in Tanzania. I know I've been throwing a lot of information at you in the last 5 minutes, so in order to maximize the effectiveness of this spiel, I will have cards with the numbers, hotlines, websites, and blogs that I have sourced throughout this speech. So, we've taken a look at the many problems going on in Tanzania, explored their effects, and taken a look at some solutions. Now, with the generosity and courage of people in our neighborhood and community, people like Razaki and others in his village have hope for a brighter future.